the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
Amen.
These are the drivers.
Thank you, Mr. Randy, as
speaking up-
usual. And if we could
Speaking
have
up
a roll
for
call, please.
issues here at Sunline.
Good afternoon, everyone. Please respond when you hear your name to confirm your attendance for the record. Board Chair Miller, City of India.
Present.
Board Vice Chair Middleton, City of Palm Springs.
Present.
Board Member Ross, City of Cathedral City. Here. Board Member Delgado, City of Coachella. Board Member Betts, City of Desert Hot Springs.
Present.
Board Member Reed, City of Indian Wells.
Present.
Board Member Ratty, City of La Quinta.
Present.
Board Member Kelly, City of Palm Desert.
Here.
Board Member Townsend, City of Rancho Mirage.
Here.
Supervisor Perez, County of Riverside. We have a quorum of the board present.
Implementing zero-emission infrastructure and carbon-reducing transportation services, Sunline has positioned itself as a global leader for tackling the effects of climate change and promoting eco-sustainable practices in the transit sector. But being at the forefront of building a clean fuels fleet is only half of Sunline's hydrogen story. The agency has also pioneered the production of hydrogen in the transit industry. Sunline has established a foundation for living its Earth Day mission every day with its advanced zero-emission infrastructure. Sunline's fleet now incorporates 21 hydrogen fuel cell vehicles, with 5 more scheduled for delivery in July 2022, which keeps the agency on track to be fully transitioned to zero emissions by 2035, 5 years ahead of the deadline set in the state's ICT regulation. Just imagine buses that are as technologically advanced as they are green, emitting nothing but water as waste. Fundamentally providing services that make transit a more viable option for our citizens helps get more greenhouse gas emitting vehicles off the road. And the Sunline Refueled initiative has done just that. Launched in 2021, Sunline Refueled increased frequency and reduced transfers on Sunline's fixed route network. It also rolled out a regional service connecting riders to destinations in California, known as the 10 Commuter Link. And it introduced a new micro-transit service called Sunride. By offering additional transportation options, Sunline has helped make transit become more viable for new prospective riders. This all ties into Sunline's future, which continues to embrace the theme that Sunline every day is Earth Day. The agency's vision includes a truck plaza located directly off Interstate 10 that will provide hydrogen and electricity as fuel, a solar microgrid, groundbreaking technology that produces hydrogen from renewable natural gas, and a new liquid hydrogen station. For every new piece of zero-emission infrastructure we implement, for every new innovative service we introduce, Sunline's climate-centered mission remains the same: to continue to offer safe and environmentally conscious public transportation solutions for the Coachella Valley, so that no matter who our riders are or where they're going, when they ride with Sunline, they know they are making a conscious impact on the health and sustainability of our planet. When you ride with Sunline, Earth Day is yesterday, today, and tomorrow.
Very nice. Very nice. And it goes to prove, I mean, when you look at that, you think that would be a major accomplishment of what we're doing at a huge agency. And Sunline with our little bus system here, I guess you want to say it, in the Coachella Valley, leading the way on clean energy and advancement into the future, where other people are looking at us instead of a large agency. So my hat's off to staff, our board, and our community as a whole, because they're the ones that are embracing this, along with the technology that came with it, and the previous board members and leadership that said, we need to go look at this direction, and you've accomplished it. So congratulations. But that video, I think, does justice to a lot of things that have happened that I think we take for granted because we see it all the time. But I think the public as a whole will be amazed at what Sunline has been able to accomplish. I don't know if anybody else would like to say something. Russell, I seen you put your hand there.
Well, I don't know if I put my hand there, but I got something to say. So,
Okay, go ahead.
I think Sunline has really changed the conversation regionally. I remember when Lauren went up to SCAG and gave a presentation up there. For my years of sitting up there, everything was electric, electric, electric. And then after she gave her presentation, you could see a sea change in the thinking, that it became electric and hydrogen. So I don't think we can take for granted the impact that this agency is making, and really has changed the conversation. And I hats off to Lauren for excellent job she continues to do for this agency.
Absolutely. Anyone else want to jump in? I mean, this is his Earth Day, and this is your agency. Ms. Ross, I'll go to you, considering you have your hand up.
I just want to give you the forethought of putting the Ukrainian flag colors on all of our buses. Thank you so much.
Oh, okay, thank you. Anyone else? All right, well, thank you, Lauren. Kathleen, did you want to say something? Okay, thank you, Lauren, and thank you, team. Make sure that whoever made the video that we appreciate it. It's amazing. Thank you very much, and we'll continue to support you, and as you continue to do the great things in our valley with your staff. With that, we'll move on to item number 5, which is finalize of the agenda. I take it there is no changes to the agenda.
That's
Edith?
correct, Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much. Then we'll move on to item number 6, was the approval of the minutes from March 23, 2022 joint board meeting. Is there anybody that'd like to make a motion, or anybody?
Make a motion to accept Richard Brown's.
First by Rance Morris, is there a second? Second by Palm Desert. Do we have to do a roll call vote, or can we do a motion?
You can do a motion.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
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 Is anybody opposed or abstain? Okay, passes unanimously. We'll move on to the next item, which is public comments. This is non-agenda items. And this will give you the opportunity to speak to the board for no longer than 3 minutes. I understand we have quite a few people that like to speak, and is there anybody else in the queue? They can go ahead, but Edith, I'll turn this over to you.
Mr. Chair, yes, if there is anyone that would wish to speak, I will go through that. We do have 10 that submitted in advance to speak. Those who have submitted are Mr. Anthony Garcia, JC Rodriguez, Irma Gallo, Valerie Dis, Maria Miller, Gina Lopez, Francis Garcia, Marcus Staley, Eugene Wilson, and Uriel Gonzalez. And Mr. Chair, before changing those Zoom controls, I will see if there's anyone else on the attendee side who wishes to be placed on the queue to provide comments on non-agenda items. Please press *9 or use the raise hand feature at the bottom of your screen. Again, please press *9 or use the raise hand feature at the bottom of your screen. I will pause momentarily to see if there is anyone who wishes to be placed on the queue.
Yes,
And
me.
Clerk and Chair, while we're pausing for a moment, I am going to read just a little statement about public comment for the record. Members of the public may address the committee regarding any item within the subject matter jurisdiction of the board. However, no action may be taken on off-agenda items. Comment shall be limited to matters not listed on the agenda. Members of the public may comment on any matter listed on the agenda at the time that the board considers that matter. Comments are to be limited to 3 minutes in length. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Vale. And Edith, is there anybody that needs anything read in the record? Will that be there, or at this time none?
At this time, there is no one that wishes to have anything read into the record. And before changing Zoom controls, Ms. Maria Miller, I do see your hand raised, and I will come to you during
This
this.
is me speaking at the
So
board
first,
meeting.
I will go to Mr. Anthony Garcia.
This is me.
Garcia?
Hi, good morning, or good afternoon, I should say. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, good morning, board and staff. Here I am, I'm an operator of 26 years here at Sunline. I said, I just want to bring this to your attention that I've been complaining about these driver seats, and I see that they are making progress as far as telling me that they're buying seats and fixing seats. I spoke to one of the mechanics, Furman, and he says these seats are rated at a 250 pounds radius as far as weight. I want to ask and bring it up to you guys that if 250 pounds, I think the average of us is maybe 250, 240. I mean, I know I'm 240, but if we can get something that's rated for 300 plus, because, you know, being a driver, we tend to gain some weight. So also want to bring something up that Sunline has been using this urgent care in Coachella for many, many years. There's an orthopedic doctor, Dr. Fountain, that doesn't give us the proper medical care that we need because we got these seats that are hurting our backs. He tells us that we are like old cars. We tend to break down, and that's just part of life. He sends us back to work and doesn't give us the proper care. I know the agency has switched to total care, which is a good thing. This new doctor actually, I've seen him before, and he seems to care about our needs. So I want to say thank you for that, and maybe we will get proper medical care for injuries sustained here at Sunline. I want to say thank you for getting rid of that Dr. Fountain that's been neglecting our proper medical care for many, many years. That's all I have to say for now. And one last thing is these hydrogen vehicles are an awesome thing for the air and good quality service. I mean, we neglect service because with new technology, they tend to break down more often until we can get these mechanics trained properly to know how to fix these on the road. So we don't get them towed in and we have a limit of how much fuel we have. There has to be a better system to not pay this tow truck company millions of dollars a year for tows. The buses and technology is awesome, but we just have to have a strategy as far as keeping them on the road, training the mechanics to learn how to work on them, to keep them on the road. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Garcia.
Thank you, Mr. Garcia. Next, we have Mr. J.C. Rodriguez.
Hello, can you guys hear me?
Can.
Record board members, I am a driver here at Sunline. My name is the notorious JC Rodriguez, and by every measurable metric, I am the undisputed greatest driver to ever set foot on Sunline property. And that's enough of my humble self. I'm here to tell you guys a story. During this unprecedented global pandemic in 2020, for safety reasons, Sunline's administration building closed its doors to the public and to us drivers. We can only speak to them over the phone. For city halls all across the valley closed its doors to the public, and some city employees work from home. But when us drivers were actually on the front lines of this pandemic and giving rights to citizens of each of your respected cities, we felt that we were not protected. When we said we should limit the amount of passengers on our buses for safety reasons, we were told no, we could not. When we said people on our bus were coughing uncontrollably in a crowded bus, and if a supervisor could take them off for safety reasons, we were told no, they not. And drivers started dropping like flies with COVID. We became understaffed, overworked, underprotected, undermotivated, and yet we still showed up and did our jobs the best we could. And not just because it's our job, but because we care and respect our passengers, your constituents. They depended on us to get them to their jobs, their doctor's appointments, and to do their grocery shopping. And all we asked for was for protection and respect from management, and we received neither. We're now in 2022. Pensions are high, morale is at a time low. As you respected board members know, it's contract time, and the lack of respect shown to us drivers during this pandemic continues to be thrown in our face in the form of the proposed contract. And for the first time in Sunline's history, the contract was voted down. We drivers have found our voice, and together it's a loud one. I'm here to ask for your support, to show not only us that you support your drivers and the working class, but to show the citizens of your respected cities that you support us as well. We want the contract to show that respect and support. Failure to do so can result in your constituents calling up City Hall and demanding answers why service is being affected. You will have to answer to them why there is no support for the drivers in the working class. A strike is not our end goal, but we're ready for it. It's the citizens, elderly, and the disabled that will all suffer. None of us want that. Please show us your support, board members. Respectfully signed, the notorious J.C. Rodriguez. And with that, I yield back my room.
Thank you, Mr. Rodriguez, for your comments.
Next, we have Irma Gallo.
Morning. My name is Irma Gallo, and I'm a coach operator fixed route since 2015. The reason of my presence here is to let you know that we are going through tough times, besides the COVID, that it was very stressful and sad for a lot of people, a lot of us. My coworker did a great presentation talking about the way, slow way the Sunline were able to help out. My personal opinion is that it took a little bit longer. I stressed out a lot, and it was moments that I was even hating my coworkers because it was so hard to make everybody be in the same page and not having a memo from work telling everybody what to do. I want to focus a little bit on something called splits. They were implemented a few years ago, and it was so hard for us to deal with the splits in the mix of runs. It feels like they were made for current employees to quit the job, seriously. I used to be jealous of seniors picking the runs in great hours. I used to dream about going up in seniority, and now after 7 years, it's like sad to know the seniors have splits and mixed runs. They have to be at the jar for like 2 hours, I think, hour and a half, like everybody else. They sit in the jar and pay for over 2 hours sometimes, making the day longer, like 10 to 11 hours. And that's about the splits. Okay, drivers, seniority drivers that give and provide the service for so many years, the service to the public, and they are treated like new drivers. So many other places consider their employees with a temporary hazard pay, and we got candy. Sunline saved money because we did not have a few events that were projected before COVID. Those events were canceled, and from Sunline, we just got souvenirs and candy. Even in my anniversary, that was presented with souvenirs with Sunline labels. We went through a lot of stress and a lot of arguments with passengers and helping for all of us to be in the same page, just about the mask. And I understand it's over with, but my stress, my suffering and anxiety that raised through these times were taken for granted. Everyone get raises for good performance. I have, I don't know my time. You can stop me anytime. I believe that other places, the splits are coming from other places. I know it's.
Irma, thank you. We're over about 40 seconds of time, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Thank you for listening. Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Irma. Next, we have Valerie Diss. Valerie, if you could raise your hand so that I can locate you on the attendee side. Sure, we'll move on to the next in queue, Maria Miller.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, okay. Well, my name is Maria Miller, and I'm the shop steward for Fixed Road. So we are here to explain why we voted no for the contract. The main reason is for the working conditions that we have. We have so many splits. We are in the unit for 14 to 15 hours a day. We are not getting paid the overtime because planning is making the routes 36, 37, 38 hours. We get penalized, and most of the time, we don't get paid the 40 hours a week. We have drivers in Sundial that have to be there 55 hours a week, and they just get paid for 40 hours. We love our job. That's why we're still working, but we have a family waiting for us. We worked through the pandemic for 2 years trying to find restrooms because the porta potties was just in some time points. We just want you to take in considerations the working conditions that we have. And we know already that our CEO is doing a great job. We can see that with all the buses, with all the new buildings, with everything that they are doing. Thank you for that. And we just want you to take again in consideration our working conditions. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Ms. Miller.
Next, we have Gina Lopez.
Hi.
Hi, Gina.
I just wanted to comment on, right now we have gas prices that are all-time high. And I think this is a wonderful opportunity for Sunline to improve the relationship we have with our public. We serve a lot of low-income communities that really need us to be on time. And we need to be, they depend on us to get to their jobs. And I noticed that we have a lot of late buses. It might have to do with us running on a weekend schedule during the weekday, when on the weekday there's a lot more traffic. We do have a lot of events during this time of the year, and that is causing us to run late. And like I said, it is a very good time with gas prices being so high for us to improve the relationship with the public, whether it be with customer service, whether it be with on-time performance, dependability. We need to increase that because average people, like I honestly would not be able to take the bus to work because I would get fired. Our attendance policy is strict and our buses are not dependable. And I just want to bring that to light, that we need to do something to bring up our on-time performance, maybe creating times that are a lot more realistic with the traffic, with the events going on in the valley. And I thank you for your time and have a great day.
Thank you, Min. Thank you, Ms. Lopez.
Next, we have Francis Garcia.
I'm sorry. Good afternoon to you all. Present at this meeting. I wanted to join in this meeting today to talk about our working conditions. I know that my coworkers have been talking about it, but I think we need to make it clear that it's not very reasonable. And we have been driving on some of the routes without any recovery time. We get from point A to point B without any breaks to eat or just to unwind from everything that we've been through in that route. Sometimes we just run to the restroom because we literally have to run to the restroom and get back to the same madness out there. We drive in really damaged seats, which means that we are just hurting our backs, our legs, our knees, everything, just because of the seats in the buses. We do need better planning on the routes. We need human planning, human reasoning, while planning would be really appreciated, because we are driving on times calculated by computers, not taking into consideration traffic lights, slow people like the elderly or disabled people. They take longer for the wheelchairs, etc. So we're always running late in our routes. I don't know if you have noticed, I'm sure you have, but I think that there is room for improvement here. We still want our hazardous pay. I know that hasn't been touched. We are sure, and I'm certain that we deserve it for being out there exposed to COVID. Administration employees have been working from home, trying to stay safe and healthy regarding COVID, but we have been out there in the front lines and we have risked our lives and our health just for being out there. And also, I would like for buses to get fixed and not just put Band-Aids on it. Public is tired and upset due to routes not running or running late due to mechanical problems. And I think just that, how about our new contract coming up to take into consideration the price of lights that is gone up on everything. Everything is gone up considerably. So we need you people to be reasonable and give us better benefits, so we don't have to put some of our money so much towards our benefits, because that's even taking more money out of our paycheck. And finally, I think that is it I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments.
Thank you.
We have Marcus Staley. Mr. Staley, if you could please raise your hand so I can identify you.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. My name is Marcus Staley. I am the shop steward for the Teamsters 1932 at Sunline Agency. I've worked for Sunline for almost 4 years now. I've worked in transportation for going on almost 25 years. I've been a shop steward for CSEA, so I'm very familiar with how to conduct union business. First of all, I'd like to thank the board for accepting our memorandum of understanding last month. We thank you for that. I've heard a lot of nice things said, and that's great. You know, the buses are beautiful. That's a great thing, but it's not about the buses. It's about the people. So I have some bad news. Unfortunately, our upper management at the operations department has refused to honor our memorandum of understanding this month. Yesterday, someone had to serve a one-day suspension without management meeting with us to discuss why she was suspended. Our upper management and operations department, which has to do with our chief and our superintendent, has denied every grievance we have filed and has refused to meet with us over changes to our wages, hours, and working conditions. That's unacceptable. The Myers-Miller's-Brown Act states that the employer must meet with the union when there are any changes to our wages, hours, and working conditions. due to the lack of respect that we receive at the workplace and the lack of respect that management has for the law, we will, as a union, file an unfair labor practice. Multiple unfair labor practices that we're going to file. We just want you as the board to be aware of management's behavior over this for the last month and how unfortunate, it's very unfortunate that the taxpayers' money will be used to defend this unfair practice. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments, sir.
Eugene Wilson. Wilson, you can unmute yourself.
Are we good?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Good afternoon, board members and panel. Again, my name is Eugene Wilson, and I've been here with Sunline for 24 years. I just wanted to reiterate my colleague, Marcus Stanley. We want to thank the board for accepting our memorandum of understanding. It was muchly appreciated. We thank you for your support. We would like to continue working with management. There's some things that we most definitely need to work out, and we are asking for the board support as well as our CEO to work out some of the grievance issues that we are coming up against. We realize that management and the Teamsters, we want to work together. That is the whole purpose for us coming together. There's some issues though that we need to sit down and work out. And all we're doing is we're asking our management team to sit down with us to work out some issues of the grievances that has been just flat out refused. And so this is the reason why we're here. We're asking and the board to be aware of it. Unfortunately, we will be filing unfair labor practice because our memorandum of agreement is not being followed as we thought we had come to an agreement with. But sure, we will be able to work this out. However, if not, we will be filing an unfair labor practice, and we do want the board to be aware of it. That's all I have to say. And thank you for your time.
Thank you for your comments, Mr. Wilson.
Next, we have Uriel Gonzalez.
Hello, can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Hi, how you doing? Good afternoon, everybody. I've been a driver with Sunline for almost 5 years, and I was seeing the videos about the buses. It's all beautiful, and it's a great idea to keep working on it. The main priority we have is our people, the passengers, the public. We are not doing our job up there. The buses, those buses, especially the new CNG, the new electric buses and the new FC buses, they break down every day, everywhere, anytime. The mechanics are not able to fix them. So we're running every 40 minutes on the line 2. It's one of the busiest routes. Unfortunately, a lot of people is being left behind. Sometimes the bus is already full, and then the one behind it's also full. And we're not doing our job, unfortunately. So I hope we do something about it, about those buses. We are there for the public. Also the splits. We have a lot of splits now, more than 2 hours. We're tired, we get more fatigue, which causes the driver to be more stressed. So hopefully we get a better department to do their job, because that's not okay. The public should be the first thing that we are, our first priority there, and safety. And those buses are not safe. So sometimes they just turn out by themselves, causing the steering wheel to get so hard. And it's very dangerous. We don't want to get into an accident if those buses turn out by all of a sudden when we're turning or, going into a bus stop. That's so dangerous. So hopefully you guys do something about that. The buses also, they don't have good gas mileage, or so then we call dispatch, and we have to wait another hour or more than an hour to get another bus there. It's hot up there. The people is the one that is suffering. So hopefully we can fix it. That's all I have to say.
Thank you for your comments, sir.
And Mr. Gonzalez was the last in the queue. However, we do have someone on the attendee side that is wishing to speak, and that's Mr. Carlos Barrientos.
Okay, thank you.
Carlos, if you could unmute yourself.
Hi. Hello, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
And
Hey guys. Just to my name is Carlos Barrientos. I've been driving for Sunline going on 3 years. And since the time we've been here, I've been noticing a lot of, good and bad things, or more bad. Just kind of put it in perspective to you guys about the splits. I don't know, you guys are office people, but just to give you an idea, that's like if you guys went and clocked in and worked from 9 to 5, but you guys worked from 9 to 12, and then you guys got off the clock from 12 to 2 p.m., not getting paid, clock back in at 2 p.m. and work from 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. That's what we're talking about, to put it on simple terms. A lot of the drivers not getting paid for those hours being at the yard. And the splits are getting longer and longer, which is, it's leaving us stressed out. These last 2 years have been tough on all the drivers, and everybody agrees on that page. Dealing with the COVID, more than 90% of the drivers got COVID, and some even passed away. Not drivers, but colleagues of Sunline, and that was tough on everybody, seeing it firsthand. And we're the ones out there in the forefront. A lot of the grocery workers, they get praised. Oh, we're on the front lines and whatnot, this and that. That's good enough. Not to, speak down on them. They're all great people. I know friends and family who work in that industry. But who do you think was driving those grocery workers to their essential jobs? It was us, and it's time to, for the cities to realize that, start putting us back on the back burner, and you guys need to do something about it. Also, some of my colleagues were saying right now, the time frames on the driving from being from location A to location B are not realistic. Just think about it, guys. Throughout the year, there's so many events. Like right now, currently we have the Coachella Fest, back-to-back 2 weeks. After that, we got Stagecoach. We got numerous parades that happen in Palm Springs. You guys, all the different cities, Dia de los Muertos for Coachella. There's a Hot Springs too. They have their parades and whatnot. That's traffic delays that we got to deal with. And somehow that memo doesn't get passed to Sunline, and we got to pretend like there's nothing going on the roads. And, and that takes back on our time for us to use the restroom, get a bite to eat. There's been times that I'm driving and I get to my final stop, and I gotta decide either I gotta go to the restroom or eat for 5 minutes, and it shouldn't be like that. And I think this is something that I'm bringing to you guys to light, so you guys can realize what's really going on. A lot of the office personnel at Sunline, let them go through the same things. See how they'll like it for, they did that for a month. You come in, clock out at 12, come back at 2 to work from 2 to 6 or 7 or whatever the time is with nothing to eat. barely have 5 minutes to chew something or go use the restroom. I was just speaking to one of the drivers that does the San Bernardino run. He said he was stuck for 2 hours on the freeway on the I-10 westbound to go to San Bernardino this last Monday because Coachella. Did that driver get to use the restroom and he gets something to eat? I don't know. But that's the only thing that Sunline never.
I am so
Never-
sorry to interrupt you, but we are at that 3-minute mark. We're actually.
All right, thank
over.
you.
Thank you for your comment, sir. Edith, is there anybody else in the queue that wants to speak?
There is no one else in the queue. However, as a courtesy, I would like to just pause momentarily to see if Valerie Dis has joined us and would like to provide public comment. Mr. Chair, I do not see her in the meeting.
Okay. Also let the record reflect that Supervisor Victor Manuel Perez, a board member, joined us during the public comment session. Anything, Edith?
And there is no one else indicating that they wish to speak, Mr. Chair.
Okay, then we'll move on from public comments, move on to item number 8, which is the board member comments. Is there anyone on the board that would like to have any moments to speak, or would we like to move on? All right, we'll move on to item number 9. Which is, yes.
Board member Reed raised his hand.
Oh, I didn't see. Sorry, Dana. Please. You're on mute, Dana.
Thank you. I'll make this very quick, and also I think it would be best if we did this offline. But I'd like a response to these comments that we've heard. At our city, we try to respond to every criticism that we receive. We can't necessarily do it right then and there, but we do get back with factual information that most of the time solves the problem. But Lauren or somebody, I'd like to have some response as to what the facts are. We've heard their opinion. I'd like to know what the other side says. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Reed. We'll let you be offline with Lauren and have her discuss that with you. We'll go from there. We appreciate that. We'll move on to item number 9 now, which is the consent calendar. These are all the items on the consent calendar. Is there anybody who would like to pull any of them, or would you like to make them? Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I would like to just pull item 9N for comments.
Okay, why don't you go ahead? Anybody else like to pull anything? Okay, Robert, why don't you go ahead and then we'll take the full calendar one time.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Item 9N, absolutely in support of this item. However, I would like to see if it was possible for staff to look at some opportunities to bring the board back in person, maybe in 60 days from now, when things gonna be a little bit more clear. We're talking about June 22nd, so it's actually exactly 2 months from now, and see if we have an opportunity to come back in person, be accessible for in-person public comments to employees and staff, and also to each other. I know that we have new members of the board, meaning that they joined after or during the pandemic, and so it would be good to be in a room together for at least a couple of meetings and see with all the precautions. So just at least take a look if we can be together in person. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you, Robert. We did discuss that the other day with Lauren and Eric and the staff. So we will look at that and see what the board wants to do after this comes forward. So would you like to make a motion to?
I certainly would like to make a motion to receive and file and approve the consent calendar.
Do I have a second? First by La Quinta. Do I have a second? Okay, second by Palm Desert.
Second.
Thank you, Kathleen. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anybody oppose or abstain on any of them? Okay, passed unanimously. We'll move on to item number 10 now, which is a contract amendment for grant writing services. Mr. Bett, I take it that the finance committee overseeing this?
Yeah, thank you. Let me find out where that is. We basically, this is extending the contract for the lobbyist that we've been using, the grant writer that we've been using. And the Finance and Audit Committee unanimously voted to approve this, and I make the motion that we approve it.
Okay, anybody have any questions on this item? It was approved by the finance committee, so we don't need a motion.
Oh, did I get the wrong one here?
It's a contract change amendment for grant writing.
All right, thank you.
So is there anybody that has any questions on it? Okay, with that, well, all those in favor say aye.
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 Anybody opposed or abstain on item number 10? Okay, passes unanimously. Move on to item number 11 now, which is a resolution number 0794 to obtain low carbon transit operations program funding. Mr. Betts, this is yours, sir.
Yes, the Finance and Audit Committee also reviewed this item and voted unanimously to approve it, and therefore make a motion to approve it.
Okay, is there anybody have any questions on the this item number 11 for the resolution? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anybody oppose or abstain? It passes unanimously. Thank you, Mr. Betts. And we'll take on to the last one for you is the agreement for special legal services. You can handle this, Mr. Betts.
Yeah, thank you. This was a modification to an existing agreement with the law firm of Adelson, Loya, Rudd, and Romo, otherwise known as AALRR. And it's an amount not to exceed $96,000. This firm is handling our labor negotiations for us. And the Finance and Audit Committee reviewed it and unanimously approved.
Okay.
Make a motion to approve.
Okay, this was approved by the Finance Committee. Does anybody have any comments on the extension of the legal services for special legal services for labor? All right, all those in favor then, we can say aye.
Aye.
Anybody oppose or abstain? Okay, it passes unanimously. Thank you, Mr. Betts, for handling those items in the Finance Committee. Move on to item number 13 now is the remote working policy. Mr. Townsend, you handling this, sir, as part of the Board Operations Committee?
Yes, I am, and we recommended that we will approve the Sunline attached remote working policy number B180122.
All right, is there any questions on this item with the remote working? Mr. Betts, I see you lit up there.
No, I'm fine. Everything's good.
Okay, then if there's no comments then, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anybody oppose or abstain or have any comment? Nope, passes unanimously. We'll move on to item number 14 now, which is the General Counsel report. Mr. Vail, do you have anything for us, sir?
Chairman Miller, I actually do. I was going to give you kind of a more extensive presentation about the Health Freedom Defense Fund versus the president and the CDC, the decision of which Monday resulted in probably the press release you saw from Sunline and the update from the CEO that masking on all of the Sunline services are now voluntary and not mandatory. It's a very interesting case. It's a kind of an intersection of law and public policy and politics. But in light of the fact that we had over a half an hour of public comment today, I'm just going to leave it at this. I can pick it up at the next meeting. The order is in place right now. The federal government has appealed that order, but interestingly enough, they did not also seek a stay of the order. Because they didn't seek a stay of the order, there is no mask mandate, and we're left to see what will happen in the upcoming months with the appeal. We'll keep you updated on that, and I will keep this on for next month and give you a more in-depth presentation if we have time for that. I'm happy to answer questions about the case. If none, then that concludes my item. Thank you.
Anything of Mr. Vail, any comments on that? Obviously, it's been appealed and it will go through the process, but in the meantime, and Lauren, I take it that our staff is still masked because we fall under OSHA, don't we? So I believe that our staff would be covered.
We have made changes to our COVID prevention plan and filed with OSHA. So we plan to change the requirements for our employees as well.
Okay.
And we've been working with them as part of that town hall series. So we will be communicating with our employees as well.
Okay, thank you. If there's no questions of Mr. Vail, then we'll move on to item number 15, which is the CEO General Manager comment. Lauren?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We really appreciate the engagement of the community, our employees, and this body for Earth Day. We're excited that we are having free rides. There has been good communication within the television media and radio about our event. So very appreciative to our operators and staff for making that happen. I did want to bring to your attention that Sunline has been awarded the CTAA Urban Transportation System of the Year Award. This is a new organization that we joined, and our winning was in connection to our refueled programs. And we'll be given that award in May. We are having our regional hydrogen hub workshop on Monday. We do hope that you're going to attend. We have some good speakers talking about the hydrogen hub concept and hydrogen at large. And so if you haven't gotten an invitation, please be sure to include other council members and folks on your city staff, because we have both a hybrid and an in-person opportunity. We do have a speaker, Jack Brower. If you haven't seen him speak, he's a dynamic speaker. And so we hope to see as many of you as can make it at that event. The other piece of good news is that Sunline was featured on the cover of Metro Magazine about where we're going with zero emission and service. And if you don't have a copy, we'd be happy to get you one for your souvenir tray. And that concludes my report, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Ms. Skyver. Any questions of Lauren? Okay, with that, then we'll move on to item number 16, which is closed session. You know, we have the login instructions, so we'll be getting off this one and move on to the next one. Mr. Bale, did you want to say anything about the items A and B on our closed session?
I will introduce those. Thank you, Chair. We have two items today. One's a conference with the labor negotiator with regard to the ATU union. The other item is a public employee performance review with regard to your CEO, GM.
Okay. Thank you very much. Then let's get off this and we'll come back after closed session and sign out of our regular agenda meeting. So see you in the closed session.